Season 8 of Drake's Migration Nation is powered by Hydratrek, powerful, rugged, amphibious vehicles. Previously on Drake's Migration Nation.
Keeping Rio in business, pumping these blues.
All right, fellas, we got diesel to burn and whiskey to drink. Y'all ready?
When I got an invite from Craig Simonton at Hydratrek to go along on a hunt, there's no way I could turn that down. You know, I've hunted, for a long time, and I've seen a lot of big blinds, but there was no way I was prepared for how big this blind was.
Man, that was nice.
Get ready. Gonna be a good morning. Yeah.
Drake's Migration Nation is powered by Hydratrek.
Well, the weather this past season was all over the place, to say the least, particularly on a stop we made down in Kansas at Habitat Flats on a hunt with Craig Simonton from Hydratrek. Now, my three favorite words have always been winter storm warning. I think my new least three favorite words are record low temps, which is what we encountered in Kansas. Made it extremely difficult to get the job done.
I'm here with David Weldon. We're the production team from Migration Nation. We're moving down the road. Just left Central Arkansas. It was at 75 degrees is what it showed when we left. Wearing t-shirts. It's pretty balmy. High humidity. Just really warm weather. But we're checking the weather where we're supposed to go, which is only about 5.5 hours away. In Kansas, it's going to be 18 degrees when we get there and about 3 inches of snow. So it should be interesting for the next 5.5 hours, going from warm to very, very cold.
We got an invite to come down and hunt southeast Kansas near the Neosho Wildlife Area with Habitat Flats. Craig Simonton from Hydratrek Amphibious Vehicles came along on the hunt, and what's unfortunate is just as everybody got to the hunt, so did a major cold front.
So we've been on the road about 3 hours or so far. It's icing up really bad. Temperature's dropped. It's 23 degrees right now. It's supposed to get down to about 18 before we get there. At 18 degrees and with a slow drizzle, or currently 23 degrees and a slow drizzle, it's icing up on the windshield and causing a mess. We're supposed to be running into snow here soon, so we should have a few inches of snow by the time that we get there. We're hoping we make it safely. We've got about an hour and 20 minutes to go, 66 miles. Probably take a little longer, an hour and a half to go. We're trying to get there safely as possible, but it's getting pretty intense,
You drove through some snow.
Yeah, just a little bit. How you doing, Barney?
Good, man. Nice to meet you, Craig.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Glad you made it down.
Glad to be here. Pretty good haul from Tennessee.
how cold was it in Tennessee when you left?
74 when I left.
74. What we got?
14 right now. Yes.
60-degree drop,
it's
man.
snowing, yeah.
How long did you have to drive in snow?
Just the last 60 miles.
That's not bad. Man.
Yeah, which took about 2 hours.
Well, cool, man. Why don't you grab your gear bag and whatnot? Waders and stuff will go over in the locker over here, and then I'll show you where we're parking up.
Sounds good.
All right, dude.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Yeah.
To keep up with all the hunting action, check us out on the web. Drake's Migration Nation is powered by Hydratrek, powerful, rugged, amphibious vehicles. Rio Ammunition, share the experience. Mojo Outdoors, it ain't magic if it ain't Mojo. Boss Drives, take charge. Prodigy Boats, custom made for the way you play. Realtree, family, friends, and the outdoors. And by Drake Waterfowl Systems, innovators in waterfowl hunting.
First morning, we get up and it's 3 below zero. And we pulled up the computer and started looking things over, and it was a record low.
It's so cold out this morning. We're going to take a couple of ice heaters out, generator out. We're going to use the Hydratrek to take this stuff out. While we're there, we're going to bust some ice with the machine, hook everything up, get some water boiling. We'll probably park this Hydratrek in the middle of the hole, turn the propellers on, blow ice out. We're going to look for ducks and get ready to do some hunting this morning. Let's go.
Well, we're with Habitat Flats down in southeast Kansas, St. Paul, and we've got a bunch of ducks. This place loaded up here in the last few days. The trouble is we had a big cold front last night and it got down to -2. So we set a record low. We've got dangerous wind chills out there now, 25 below zero. You know, up home we're used to that with big blind boats and heat and whatnot. And down here, we're just praying that we've got some open water. We've got ice heaters running in several places, but my experience has been when it's this cold, the birds set most of the morning, and then they'll feed hard one time, usually in the early afternoon. So we're kind of chilling, letting things warm up a little bit, and then we'll go out and put the herd on some.
All right, so we're battling record lows down here in Kansas, actually. It's never been this cold this time of the year. So we've been fighting the ice and everything. So right now we got a spot that we've been keeping open with some ice heaters. We're gonna go dump a bigger generator in and another ice heater to make a bigger hole open for these ducks. And hopefully this afternoon when they fly out, we'll be able to shoot them up pretty good. We have a Hydratrek coming. We're gonna use that to break the ice and get into these holes. Some of them are pretty tight and you know, you can't get any other vehicles in there. So these tracked vehicles work real good at getting into the mud and the ice and break all that stuff. And they can also haul a lot, so we can throw our generators and ice heaters and everything in there and drive it right up to the blind.
At Hydratrek Inc., we manufacture an elite line of amphibious vehicles. Each one is handcrafted, designed, and assembled right here in our plant in Covington, Tennessee. All Hydratrek vehicles are manufactured using marine-grade aluminum. They have diesel engines, hydraulic drive systems, track systems, 2 propellers on the back for water propulsion, and they can go just about anywhere you need to go out there in remote terrain. Hydratreks are used for power and utility right-of-way applications, oil and gas pipeline applications, wetland survey, coastal restoration, seismology, mining, duck hunting, and one of the big applications is search and rescue. When an area is hit by a hurricane or has flooding from river systems, Hydratreks can be used to evacuate people, bring supplies in such as sandbags, water, generators, and help people with humanitarian aid. All the Hydratreks are made in USA and they are tough vehicles. They can go through some of the roughest and toughest swamps, muskeg, snow, ice, sand, vegetation, anywhere. They can go just about everywhere you need to go. They're all amphibious and they do float in water. With the 2 propellers in the back, you have water propulsion and you can navigate across a inland waterway, canal, ditch, small pond, lake, even a river system with current.
So we were dealing with ice, we knew that right off the bat. Fortunately, Craig said that Hydratrek could tear the heck out of all that ice. So we basically just got in the Hydratrek and rode down to the blind. And of course it was froze up, 3 below 10 to put hard water everywhere. But Craig fired that Hydratrek up and just crushed out into that ice, driving through it. And he positioned the Hydratrek after he broke a hole where it needed to be, and then he engaged the props, and then it just blew that ice out of there. So now automatically we've got a beautiful hole to hunt. And then the guides busted their tushies, trust me, and put in ice eaters, I think 3 or 4 of them actually, to keep the hole open. We're down in southeast Kansas with Habitat Flats, and we have extreme conditions. Record lows yesterday morning and record lows again this morning. And the birds are sitting on a refuge, feeding hard 1 time a day. And it is pushing 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Jeremiah, Max, and Cooper from the guide service came out here and cleaned this hole out. We're in McCool's. This is the spot, we're told anyway. Anyway, they got the hole cleaned out. We got ice eaters running, Mojo's running, and we're waiting on ducks. And it looks like it might be like yesterday and pushing 3 o'clock before the birds decide to move. Other than that, waiting game.
To keep up with all the hunting action, check us out on the web. Season 8 of Drake's Migration Nation is powered by Hydratrek, powerful, rugged, amphibious vehicles.
We got set up and it was beautiful. I mean, that hole was good. The ice eaters were bubbling and keeping everything looking good. We got a good stiff wind and sunny skies. And we just lacked one ingredient, and that was the ducks. The situation, and it happens quite often around the country, especially with refuge ducks. It's a shallow refuge that these birds are roosted in, and it's certainly susceptible to freezing. 3 below 0 is gonna absolutely lock this up. So the birds go into what I call survival mode. They don't wanna lose that open water, so they just set, literally. When they say, be careful what you wish for, we've been wishing for a big cold front. Trouble is we got a record cold front. We're in southeast Kansas and it got down to 2 below 0 this morning. And this is not moving water. And the only reason that there's ducks out here now is because they're keeping moving water. They're literally sitting, paddling in a hole. We thought we could wait them out, and short story long, we sat there for 2 full days waiting for the birds to fly, and they didn't. They literally sat. What'd you say?
I see ducks.
Oh, I see them. Here it comes. Shoot him! Shoot him!
All right. First greenie in Kansas.
I'm amazed we even got that duck. We're all standing up, yucking it up, telling jokes and stories, and he basically dropped in the lower end of the decoys before we even saw him.
It's been a long, cold day in the blind for Barney and the crew, so they pack it in and head back to the lodge, where Barney takes a few minutes to give a call lesson to some eager young hunters.
Start over with the second, and once you get 2 or 3 together, the third, fourth, and fifth come pretty easy. So hit one long note, and then the next.
Day 3 brings clear skies, warmer temperatures, and a renewed hope that the birds will start to move.
Well, the weather is finally broke. Our cold snap that we had, I think, is over. It was in the upper 20s when we left the lodge this morning. A bright sunny day, light south wind. So if the ducks decide to finally get off that refuge and go eat, we're gonna treat them pretty ugly. Fortunately, we had a big, comfortable blind to try to wait these ducks out in, and they were courteous enough to bring us lunch in the blind each day. So we tried to do the old adage of mine, stick and stay and make her pay, but it didn't. We ended up killing one duck. We finished up at Habitat Flats and threw in a towel and went home for a few days to regroup. And I called in a favor with J.J. Kent from Kent Outdoors. He has ground in extreme North Texas and southeast Oklahoma. Matter of fact, I think he told me he had about 140,000 acres at his disposal. So he said, yeah, we can make something work down there. So we climbed in the truck and put in about a 13 or 14 hour drive, got there late that night and secured licenses quickly and headed to bed.
To keep up with all the hunting action, check us out on the web. Drake's Migration Nation is powered by Hydratrek, powerful, rugged, amphibious vehicles. Rio Ammunition, share the experience. Mojo Outdoors, it ain't magic if it ain't Mojo. Boss Drives, take charge. Prodigy Boats, custom made for the way you play. Real Tree, family, friends, and the outdoors. And by Drake Waterfowl Systems, innovators in waterfowl hunting.
We got up the first morning and JJ had scouted a pond, and to me, when I looked at it, it looked like they had pumped it because there was flooded vegetation. And he said, no, they just had enough rain in the recent past that it rose the water a little bit. It was some type of a municipal watershed is what he described. I call it a pond. But he said it's a little bay we were in. He said there was probably 3,000 ducks sitting in that the day before. And 3,000 ducks will get my attention when I'm in the spot they want to be in.
Cut him. That was awesome. That was awesome.
It was, JJ, it's cool. Kind of a typical situation. You got a bright sunny day. The sun's just finally peeked over the horizon good on us, and just sitting here BSing, and out of nowhere, in comes some gadwall. 2 in and 2 down. During the hunt, I asked JJ where the majority of the birds would approach from, because I didn't know what his situation was, whether there was a refuge or where the birds were sitting off location. And he said most of them are gonna come from over here. So of course I'm focusing on that direction. And about mid-morning, it sounded like a jet liner coming in. And I looked over my left shoulder, and here comes a flock of pintails, and they were cupped up and ripping air. Yeah.
Man, that was awesome. That was awesome.
And we shot them, and then I asked JJ, I said, well, where are they coming from back in that direction? And he literally said, the Gulf Coast, which meant they're dealing with a reverse migration. And he said it's pretty typical that time of year, which was late January, for these birds that have been south to start trickling north. And we just happened to catch one of those bunches as they were coming through. It's pretty cool. It was supposed to be clear, and it was actually cloudy, but you could see blue sky behind us, and I absolutely want to hunt in the sunshine if at all possible. One of JJ's guides, Drake field expert Chris Wilson, was sitting down on the end of the blind, and I heard him mumbling something, and I happened to look down and started listening to the conversation, and I kept hearing Chris say something about a lot of mallards. And if you know me well, you know I'm a mallard guy. So I got involved in the conversation. Chris said, I've got some watersheds over at my place. Fortunately, it's still part of JJ. They were working together in this outfitting situation. So JJ said, well, if you think you can get the job done, take them over and shoot those mallards, which is exactly what we did. We hooked up probably an hour later and drove over to southeast Oklahoma with Chris Wilson. Kill them. Fortunately, we shot a lot of ducks. I've had some pretty quick shoots in my life, but I gotta admit, when it's call, shoot, shoot, reload, call, shoot, shoot, reload. It's as fast as you can. After talking with Chris in depth during this hunt and figuring out when they get birds as a rule, he told us Christmas time or shortly thereafter. So I'd say by early January of next year, I'm gonna be down in southeast Oklahoma again. Unfortunately, about a month after this hunt, our dear friend J.J. Kent passed away. All of us at Drake and Migration Nation will sorely miss him.